Hello, my friends, and welcome to another witchy flip through. Tonight, I have for you this lusciously illustrated book of Slavic magic based on the folktale of Baba Yaga. And I have to assist me today this letter opener that I'm going to use as a pointer. It has a lot of heft and weight to it, and it's sort of narrow at the end, so I think it will help you follow along with what I'm reading as we go through the book. So this is called Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft, Slavic Magic from the Witch of the Woods. And it's by Madame Pamita. So some important context, I think, is that I am Ukrainian myself. And I grew up listening to a lot of my two Babas' folk tales right before bed when they would be looking after me, or sometimes on the phone. And I didn't realize until I went to school and started studying witchcraft history that a lot of the tales that they had told me were not original. They were actually intergenerational family folk tales. And they originated, a lot of them in the Ukraine. And these were pieces and parts of themselves that they had left behind when they moved to Canada. But they kept these traditions alive through the art of storytelling. God, they were such good storytellers. One of them is still alive, and she still is an excellent storyteller. I think that the reason why I thought they were original is because they just added so much flair and personality to the stories that they felt authentic, as though they had been written by my papas. But I was thrilled to see that a new book, quite a comprehensive book actually, had been recently published on witchcraft, specifically from a Slavic point of view, because this is a rich and variegated history, and I feel like there isn't very much out there on it. But before we delve into this book, I think this is a good opportunity to light a little candle. So I have this little wooden box. I've had it since I was a kid, and I've always kept some little bits and bobs and objects inside of it. But for right now, it's holding some of my ritual candles. So if you're a witch, practicing or not, you know that spell candles are used in different colors to symbolize different intentions and meanings. And I used to have a lot more in here, but I have a lot fewer. I tend to burn them while I'm taking a bath. I also have a little package of incense matches in here. And these are really nice if you don't have a lighter on you. They also have a really light perfume scent. And these ones are scented in patchouli. But there's lots of other different scents out there. I also have a pendulum in here. For some reason, I don't know why. But it's made of tiger's eye. And the end of it is a little engraved dragonfly. It's really beautiful. I think my mother gave it to me. So in this box, I have a black candle. Hasn't been lit yet. A red candle. As you can imagine, red is often associated with romance. I'm sure that surprises none of you. A blue candle, which I've burned quite a bit of already. A white candle, your most basic candle. And this really beautiful mossy green, a forest green candle. One of my favorite colors. I think for the purposes of this video, simple is better. And I'm gonna pick this white candle. White candles are usually a symbol of a blank slate. So you can imbue the candle with whatever energy or intention you feel. So we're just going to put it in here. And grab the lighter. And light the wick. Beautiful. Just put it off to the side. Like that. Okay. So, let's take a look inside the book. I put this little postcard inside this book because it has poppies on it. And if you are Ukrainian, you know that poppies and poppy seeds are a really important part of the agricultural landscape in Ukraine. And a lot of our cuisine has poppy seeds in it. So a couple of examples that I can think of are pampushke, which are sort of a doughy roll that is a syrupy, sweet poppy seed filling, or kucha, which is one of my favorites, and it is part of the 12 meatless dishes at Ukrainian Christmas, and it's a boiled wheat, it reminds me a little bit of porridge or oatmeal in honey, and there's poppy seeds in that as well. So I put this inside. But technically this is stationary, so you can write someone a note on the back. But I just thought that it was a really fitting thing to put inside. I'll put this over here. And I do apologize if my pronunciation is not that good. I grew up speaking a little bit of Ukrainian in my house and in school, but I've lost a lot of that ability as I've gotten older. I'm out of practice. So if there's anything that you hear me say and you're Ukrainian, and you know the proper pronunciation, please feel free to comment and tell me what I'm doing wrong, because that's one of the best ways to learn. Okay, so we have a table of contents. And it looks like, wow, there's a lot of chapters. So I'm kind of thinking that I'll do a multi-part video, just because this is such a beautiful book, and I'd love to bring it back and go through the contents in more depth. Wow, it's amazing. There's so many chapters. It's almost like an encyclopedia of magic. So it looks like there is a specific section on the witch, which is kind of fun. Chapter 13 is on Bisinka, the decorated eggs, which is something that I've actually done. It's really difficult. Hollowing out the eggs and then using these bizarre, like, wax pens. I don't fully remember. I did this many years ago, but to do it, it's really, really difficult. My Baba has done some of the most beautiful decorated eggs I've ever seen. And I remember trying to do it with her, and she was so good and so fast. But I do have here something from my childhood, which has some wooden decorated eggs in it. And there's this little decorated basket that it comes in with some of the traditional Ukrainian patterns. And there's a little wooden mushroom, a red-topped, speckled mushroom. I loved this one when I was a kid. I still love mushrooms. And then there's 3 eggs in 3 different colors, and these are made fully of wood. So there's a green one, a blue one, and a yellow one. And I loved this thing. Something about miniatures when you're a kid is just, it lights every part of your brain on fire. I've kept this with me my whole life. I just love it so much. And if you know anything about Ukrainian Easter traditions, you know that we celebrate holidays according to the Julian calendar. And so Ukrainian Easter sometimes falls at a different time than English Easter. But we make Easter baskets and we get them blessed. This is a representation of a Ukrainian Easter basket. I thought that it was very in theme for today's video, because I knew that Bisinka would come up at some point. There used to be a very small Easter chick that went inside of this on top, but I don't know where he went. He's missing. He's gone to live another life elsewhere. Okay, so we have the acknowledgements and a disclaimer, of course, and the preface. Bones survive. Whenever the blood and the flesh have disintegrated, the the bones will remain. The bones of our ancestors still carry their lives, their dreams, and their hopes. Deep in a grave in a Ukrainian cemetery in Pennsylvania, my grandmother's bones began to move. Somewhere under the patches of snow and frozen ground, the bones began to warm and almost imperceptibly vibrate. Whenever I would come in contact with something that connected me to my Carpathian ancestors, a mournful folk tune, a Ukrainian Easter egg, an embroidered blouse, the bones would make a small rattle of life and then fall back into their deep sleep. This is very, a narrative, very vivid and poetic. Oh, I love that. Babusia, so kind of like a Baba. Her Babusia's powerful magic. Oh, and the powerful magic of all the bones, of all the Babusi who transported me back to the first Baba, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga really was the first Baba. And I remember one of my Babas telling me all about that. She would go, do you know why you call me Baba? It's because of Baba Yaga. They've listed a bunch of different versions. Every Slavic country has their own version of her name. They sound like an ancient chant to conjure up the spirits. These hundreds of names that were told in hundreds of stories. Wow. Yes, see, my own familiarity with Baba Yaga comes from my Ukrainian side of the family. To us, she was Baba Yaga, the famous old crone who ate children, just like the witch in the story of Hansel and Gretel, except far more exciting because she flew around in a giant mortar and had a sentient house that walked around on chicken legs. It wasn't until I began diving deeper into Ukrainian spiritual practices that I began to see the connections between Baba Yaga and the spiritual healers, wise women, and witches of Ukraine. This book centers on the spiritual practices of my own heritage. However, people who are interested in Slavic magic will discover many correspondences and similarities with their own traditions. In some of the stories told about her, Baba Yaga appears not as one woman, but as three sisters, all named Baba Yaga. So perhaps think of what I have written in these pages as the Ukrainian Baba Yaga, looking for her many other sisters scattered throughout the Slavic world. Oh my goodness. I love this. It's incredible. What a great introduction. The story I spin for you here loosely follows the plot of the famous story Vasilisa the Beautiful. Okay. I can see that you are eager to start your journey. Remember, when you meet Baba Yaga, be humble, be willing, be respectful, and be gracious. Show up with your best manners, and she might even invite you to sit beside her near the wood stove. If you get a seat by the fire, she might even tell you her stories. And if you are worthy of hearing her tales, you might even be able to figure out the secrets of her magic. And if she teaches you her magic, you'll be a very, very lucky one indeed. Wow. She just writes so eloquently and so vividly. I just feel instantly transported. That's a sign of a really good book. Okay, so we have here chapter 1, Vishivanka, the magical stitches. And so each chapter opens with a little bit of a tale. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more flipping through these are quite long tails. But there are these sections that are sort of broken off with a border. And they're told from the perspective of Baba Yaga herself, which is really cool. And then there's a couple things from the author herself. I remember my mom would always put me in my little Ukrainian shirt. There's a couple pictures of me on picture day in my white shirt with my red and black embroidered collar. And I actually have a Ukrainian shirt. I have yet to find an occasion to wear it, which is sad, because sometimes it feels like in the modern world you lose touch with your heritage and your culture and your traditions, but I have it, and I feel like looks like this helped me reconnect with what makes me me. So this is all about embroidery, which is amazing. Embroidery was something that my papa did a lot growing up, and she really did see it as a sacred activity. So it's fun to see it sort of ritualized. Okay. Oh, there's a section on talismanic embroidery designs. There are many powerful traditional symbols used in embroidery and weaving. The oldest ones, going back to prehistoric times, are the most obscure and purely symbolic. Stars, sun, meanders, and the geometric shapes, for example. The representational shapes, such as plants and hearts, are more modern, but still imbued with powerful magic. Whether you choose an ancient or more modern design, select the one that brings the blessings you desire or appeals to you most. Okay, so we've got a couple of them here. We've got the kvadrat, or the square. Oh, this is so cool. So looking at embroidery as a practice of spell casting. The kvadrat is used in spells to enhance the material, draw abundance, or create good boundaries or protection. The number 4, interesting. There's the room, or lozenge. The room is an ancient diamond shape connected to fertility and the womb, as well as the abundance of Mother Earth. If the room has hooks around the border, it is a saba, or frog, and represents life-giving water. Okay. Oh, there's so many more. Okay. There's the kolo, or circle. The kolo is a primary magical symbol representing the sun and the moon. It is used in spells for long life, vigor, and health. If the kolo has a dot at its center, it represents the universe and our connection to all. Okay, we've also got the kalina, or the gitter rose. The kalina is a berry bush that symbolizes youthful beauty, love, wealth, health, and motherhood, with the bush symbolizing the mother and the berries representing her children. Because of this meaning, it also represents the blessings of the ancestors and has an association with ancestral lands, family roots, and blood ties. I've never seen anything like this before in my papa's embroidery, but it's really pretty. The dub, I'm not quite sure, is the oak, considered the king of the trees. The oak is a holy tree associated with strength and longevity. It's embroidered on masculine clothing to make the owner strong and courageous, and it can be combined with kalina to symbolize the union of strength and beauty. I have seen this on men's shirts before. Okay, so we've got grapes here. Vinogred signify the family and domestic happiness. It strengthens family connections when embroidered on clothing. It especially empowers. I don't know what this means. They are used to create warm familial ties, bless loved ones, and bring abundance to the bloodline. Okay, we've also got the poppy here, Mac. And I talked a little bit about the importance of the poppy earlier, but it's a powerful emblem that has many magical meanings. It's used for spiritual protection, banishing negativity, curses, and hexes. It is a symbol for remembrance of the ancestors, psychic abilities, love charms. Wow. Okay, this is a tricky one. The Revositia, Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is an ancient symbol with multi-layered secret meanings. First, the Tree of Life is rarely shown as a representational tree. It is usually depicted as a vaison, a flower pot. Huh. Okay. Oh, it just keeps going. My goodness. Okay. There's a heart here, a serce, I think. It's a symbol of love. I mean, that one is pretty self-explanatory. Zori, the morning star, an 8-pointed starburst symbol representing the ancient morning star or dawn. Chevroni, or chevrons. Oh, wait. Chevrone? You see what I mean? My pronunciation is a little rusty, but that's okay. These ancient symbols are an expression of the union of female and male essence and the meeting of spirit and matter. Okay, this one, wavy lines. Kiviliasti linei. Represent the element of water, life-giving rains, cleansing the flow of time and the evolution of the universe. Okay, we have crest, or cross. This one you see all the time, everywhere. The equal-armed cross is an ancient sacred symbol representing the sun and fire. When tilted to become an X, it represents the moon. Okay, there's the Svarga, or sun, ancient symbol for the ever-turning wheel of the sun. A solar symbol. Okay, we have the Bovna Roja, or the mallow flower. When the upright cross of the sun is superimposed over the X of the moon, they form a double cross or an 8-pointed star, which symbolizes the union between these two spirits. The Grayevi Danets, meander. Grayevi Danets literally means the winding dance, the old ritual steps that Ukrainians performed in the spring. This symbol represents the life journey, eternity, strength, and vitality. And there's Trayukutnik, triangle. It symbolizes trinities of all kinds, the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world of the world tree. The three elements of water, fire, and air, birth, life, and death, mother, father, and child. And there's also Kleyuche, which is keys. Kleyuche is another multifaceted symbol called keys, as figures or snakes. In ancient times, they symbolized the serpent, a powerful emblem of the waters of the earth, as opposed to the waters of the heavens. Utility, beauty, and magic. The Ukrainian women in my life are just about the most practical people that I've ever met. And it's very true that for Ukrainians in the past, and even for some of them in the present, every object they touched would be useful, beautiful, and imbued with magic. Almost everything they owned was layered with these three attributes. A wooden spoon with a simple carving on it was not just a utensil made to look pretty, but an amulet for abundance and a tool for making meals that would bless the family with health. Okay, chapter 2. Motonka, the living puppet. So this continues that running narrative with Baba Yaga. I love that they've used traditional borders on all of these illustrations, and I love these illustrations. They remind me so much of some of the Ukrainian picture books that I looked at when I was a kid, that I had read to me. So this is a very nostalgic and comforting experience for me. And here again is Baba Yaga's perspective. And so this is the Matonka, which is a puppet or a spirit doll. Oh, and there's a actual series of illustrations, a step-by-step guide on how to make the Matonka. Wow, there's a lot of different numbered lists. Okay. Chapter 3. Oh, it's all about Domoviks, or the spirit of the house, and I remember hearing all about Domoviks. When I wouldn't put something away, or if something weird happened, we would blame it on the Domoviks. And I see that there's a whole story behind the Domoviks. And I'm sure a lot of this aligns with what my Papa has told me, or even my mother. While a house spirit might seem like something only found in movies, and not a concept connected to the modern world, a surprising number of people honor their Domovik in small ways, acknowledging his presence when they hear noises in the home, talking to him and sitting for a few minutes with him before they leave on a trip. Even these small nods to the house spirit are believed to bring positive energy to the house and family, but there are so many other ways you can build and deepen your relationship with him. Inviting your Domovik into your home. If you've never had a Domovik live with you, you can invite one to bring you blessings. Before you begin, you need to remember that by inviting a Domovik, you are inviting your ancestors into your home. This is going to be a lifelong relationship, one you should not enter into without feeling a sense of commitment. Maintaining a relationship with your Domovik doesn't require much, but like adopting a pet, you should only begin this process if you will continue it. Oh, and it looks like there's even ways that you can move your Domovik into a new home here. Wow. How to rid your home of a stranger Domovik. We've got every situation covered in this chapter. All of your problems with your Domovik you can deal with right here. Food offerings for your Domovik. You can schedule your offerings, and there's some lovely little chants that you can say. This is amazing. Leaving a Domovik temporarily, appeasing an unhappy Domovik, signs of a contented Domovik, the gifts of the Domovik, protection from malicious people, babysitting, reminders. Oh, this sounds so nice. When you've established a strong relationship with your Domovik, He will wake you in the mornings in time to get ready for the day, and will alert you if you've forgotten anything before you leave the house. The importance of the ancestors. Throughout this book, you will discover how deeply important the ancestor spirits are in folk magic practices. They are our protectors and guides from the other world, the spirit realm where Baba Yaga resides. As the gatekeeper of this realm, she traverses between the world of the living and the world of the spirits, and can give you access to the magic found there. Wow. Out of curiosity, just like to go back a little bit, hold my place here. I believe it's in the acknowledgements, yeah. She cites the Ukrainian and Ukrainian diaspora women who gathered around, advised, translated, and guided me as I wrote, which is so amazing. I love that a lot of these tales came straight from the mouths of a lot of people just like my papa. Okay. That is a hard word. I don't know if my reading skills are equipped for that. Rosadorisha. I'm sorry, I don't know. If anyone in the comments knows how to pronounce this, it would be amazing to get a phonetic pronunciation of this long word, but it means the crossroads. So these are sort of the symbolism of roads. So much of the old magic of the Rosadorisha came from our agrarian ancestors who had a rural way of life. However, that doesn't mean that the beliefs about the power of the crossroads were left behind when people stopped traveling over dirt roads and moved to the cities. There are many people today who had Ukrainian Baba admonishing them not to eat when walking across the street. That's very true. Or never to pick up anything lying in a crossroads. All sorts of things like this I've heard. Wow, this is so thorough. Cover your yawns. Make sure you don't yawn with an open mouth when standing in the crossroads. If you do so, you're creating an entry point for a wandering entity who can settle in your body and sap your vital energy. If this happens, you may find that bad luck follows you. And we can prevent this problem by covering our mouth. I think that reminds me a lot of how we say bless you when people sneeze. Avoid spitting. What an interesting chapter. Simple wishing spell. When you are on a journey and come to a crossroads, you can make a simple wish. When you come to the next crossroads on your way, make the same wish again. And when you reach a third crossroads, make the wish one more time. The wish repeated at 3 consecutive crossroads in a single journey is potently empowered to come true. I love this idea of the road as a symbol, a spiritual symbol, a way of letting go, starting afresh. Chapter 5, Slavic, the Lord of the Forest. Oh, this is an amazing illustration. Look at his little tree crown, these beautiful trees in the background. And then I like that his hand is reaching out and grabbing the border of the illustration. I like that each chapter follows a format, so you always know what you're going to get in the first little bit. Okay. Similar to the house spirit, you can give offerings connecting to the trees. Spending time with the tree kingdom and the Slavic will bring you into the forest world, so familiar to Baba Yaga. Get in touch with the Slavic and get to know their home. Be a loving, respectful guest. Take some time to notice the trees around you. Spend time outside in nature and touch the trees with loving kindness. I love the idea of reconnecting with nature. I think we'll do a couple more chapters for this video, and then perhaps we'll pick this book up again in a couple of weeks. Just because it's so thorough and so long, and I feel like I don't want to rush through it anymore than I already am, because each page really deserves a look. At the spirits of the lake, Vinok magic. Vinoki are old magic. There are records of magical wreaths going back 3,000 years, but it is believed that the use of wreaths in magic goes back even further to before written history. Wreaths were worn not just to adorn, but to bless and protect the wearer. Yes. Traditionally, the Vinok is woven from 12 magical flowers and foliage on special festivals and holidays. These 12 special plants vary from village to village, but a list of generally accepted variations can be found in Appendix 1. For centuries, the tradition has been that as soon as it dawns on the morning of Kupala, women go out, wash their faces with dew collected from yarrow flowers, and go into the forests and fields to collect flowers for wreaths and herbs for healing. The herbs and flowers used in a Vinok have a language and express your wishes. I have witch on the brain. And express your wishes and intentions. There's a traditional method of collecting plants for magical purposes. When you pick the herbs and flowers for your Vinok, you should take extra care to honor the plant. And Mother Earth. Oh, this is so beautiful. Wow. So it gives you 7 steps of how to craft a Vinok and where you can add ribbons. I've actually done something similar. This is what I do with what's left of my garden each year. I make Vinoks, and some of them are fancier than others. The last time that I made them, I didn't have ribbon available to me, but it's already kind of flaking a little bit. But it's a really great way to honor the memory of someone. For example, one of my papas was, well, both of them are avid gardeners, but one of them who's now gone from us, she loved garden sage and rosemary, and so I grew garden sage and rosemary, and I harvested them and hung them to dry it took a couple of weeks. And then, while thinking of her memory, I bound the herbs together, and I made quite a few of them. This is the only one that I have left from the last season, but you can burn them, and they have a really nice scent. But it's really amazing to use something that you've grown in your own garden for a ritual and to honor the memory of someone that you miss dearly. And a lot of people do add ribbons and things like that. But, as it says, Vinnicky should never be carelessly thrown away. A wreath, or in this case a bundle, should always be disposed of ritually in some way, burned in a bonfire, thrown into water or a well, hung from a tree, or taken to a cemetery, which I have done before. I have left Vinok on graves. It's wonderful to see a section all about that. Oh, there's a friendship ritual. That's wonderful. Okay. Let's do one more chapter. If you're still awake, then you're very brave. Or very interested in Slavic magic, which I really don't blame you for. It's fascinating. Veklinenya, the magic words. Veklinenya today. At one time, there were healers in every village in Ukraine, and the baby Sheptiki were respected for their contributions to the community. It was traditional for these healers to verbally pass down their special Seklenia from grandmother to adult daughter or granddaughter to preserve the continuity of the practice. In agrarian communities, few people learned to read and write, and so these powerful incantations were memorized and passed on in oral tradition stretching back generations. This is so true. In the 20th century, a combination of forces threatened to erase this once thriving practice. Modernization, Soviet suppression of native Ukrainians, and assimilation for diaspora Ukrainians trying to fit in all conspired to eradicate these ancient rituals. Fortunately, there were individuals who kept these practices from disappearing. Native Ukrainians who continued to offer the healings in secret, and diaspora Ukrainians who held on to the traditions of their homeland. It's very true. I grew up with many women who worked actively to preserve these traditions because of suppression in their own country. And this chapter closes with the power of words. Baba Yaga intimately knows the power of words. In many of her stories, she speaks an incantation over objects or people to transform them. She knows that words have power, and the only way to truly know the power of words is to start creating and using incantations in your magic. When you use the words, feel their power and see the incredible changes they bring to your life. Once you do so, you will truly understand and be able to harness the power of the witch in the woods. And so as you can see, there's quite a bit of book left. I mean, there's 17 chapters, so it's a massive book. It's not a small tome by any means. Oh, there's so much more, like weaving wheat. So I think we'll return to this in the future. But there is a little appendix at the end, which was referred to earlier when I was reading magical plants and their meanings. And there's actually a pretty comprehensive guide to all the different plants. There's also magical color and correspondences, which, as you can see, a lot of witchcraft traditions are universal. They pass through different cultures and heritage. And look, white, our little candle here is almost burned all the way through, but white in Slavic magic and in many other witchcraft practices symbolizes innocence, protection from misfortune and jealous glances, restores energy reserves, blessings of the moon, psychic awareness, spirituality, health protection, wishes, education, protection from conflicts, harmonious relationships, birth, beginnings, light, purity, innocence, and maidenhood. And there's a glossary as well, which has a lot of interesting terminology. And then a bibliography, and as you can see, as an academic, I'm always impressed by a really thorough bibliography. And look how big that bibliography is in an index. So, all in all, just an absolutely wonderful book. Such a treat, such a pleasure to peruse its pages. Just a thorough and enjoyable resource on all of the folk tales that I grew up listening to when I was a kid. So if you're into Slavic magic, or you have some sort of Slavic heritage, or if you grew up listening to the tales of Baba Yaga, then I highly recommend buying yourself a copy of this excellent, excellent volume. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and for watching. If you enjoyed watching this flip through, then by all means subscribe. There will be much, much more of this to come. And I hope that you rest well. And I'll see you